Vitality is, yes, you might not obviously win these 2 games today. You can take a lot from this, and you can definitely go into this second one with, you know, the heat, the fire, and take what you've got from the game of Optic and put it in against Red Reserve. Are they the favorite? Absolutely not. Red Reserve should come out here. They should clean up. But from what we've seen of Vitality today, they can definitely push any team in the world.
They definitely can. A big old yawn there from Joe. Hopefully he's ready to go with this.
Wake up, come on.
I mean, that was the big thing that we mentioned with Vitality. They went straight out of the gate, but map number 1 officially underway. It is a hardpoint St. Marie-du-Mont, and a little bit nervous here, I've got to say, for Vitality. Of course, we've seen just how clinical Red Reserve can be on this map.
And the crazy thing is, as well, you got to think about Mindfreak. Mindfreak obviously just picking up a very big win over TK. It's not good news if you're obviously a Vitality member, a fan.
Right.
But they're in a little bit of trouble. They're trying to fight their way out of course, that relegation spot. But kicking things off, hardpoint St. Marie. And we're just seeing an absolutely dominating performance. Will we see the same?
Oh, you hope so, if you're a Red Reserve fan, of course, because a win here will clinch them that playoff spot. The problem, Maul's so close to streaks, unfortunately, will fall. Would have loved to see him just contest the hard point, see if his teammates could have slayed around him. He would have got the plus 100 for controlling the hill and thus the streaks, but sadly, not going to happen. Xerox now, they're trying to look to pick up the kill inside the hard point, but again, not going to happen. So Red Reserve getting the early time here, Phil.
Yeah, Red Reserve getting that scrap time as well. Just looking at the rotation here and how this plays out. This is such a big gunfight. Moles is going to win that, and he's going to spawn his teammates number 5 and 7. It's Riskin and Whalers right back there with him. We've got Xerox cutting through the middle, which should be traded. I'd like to think so, and it will be here. But now we see the defense from Vitality pushing forward is Red Reserve, and on a 5-kill streak, this is Joe. He's got to play for these streaks here, Ben.
Yeah, he's done a good job just staying alive. Turns around. That's going to be the glide bomb. Now can he earn all 3? Well, 10 points is all he needs. Just jumps on the hill. That's a plus 100. Thank you very much. Full streaks for Joe.
And he's actually going to be taken out, ironically, by Josh there. You see the early rotation coming in from the 3 members of Red Reserve. And, well, slow start for Josh and Zero. 1 and 7, 1 and 5. Joe, a player which doesn't get the credit he deserves sometimes. He's the one keeping them in it right now.
He most definitely is, and those streaks are definitely going to have to come into play. Red Reserve are fantastic on this rotation from Winery to back parking. The question is, can they lock it down in the first rotation of hills? There's one player, I believe it's going to be Xerox mid-street. He falls. It's Joe again, really here, there, and everywhere on this map, doing a wonderful job. But again, this is the question. When is Joe going to invest these streaks? Because it's been a bit of a slow start here for Red Reserve.
I can see them maybe coming in the next hill, depending on obviously how this one goes. But with 45 seconds left, they can not only take the lead here, they can start to get themselves back into the game and putting in a little bit of a better performance. Is Josh now on a 4-kill streak? Laser light with that PPSH there, and definitely maybe, or definitely starting to warm up and maybe going to take the lead.
It's funny, the one player I was worried about was Joe. The big yawn on the main stage. Well, he's definitely awake at 9 and 5. Josh, of course, snapping on a couple of kills mid-map as well. But Joe continuing to have a bit of a rampage. Another 20 seconds left on parking lot, and it really has been Red Reserve locking down this hill for the entirety of it. Finally, the 15-second scrap time. It looks as if Vitality may go for a bit of a pinch, but honestly, if you're Joe, you're not really too bothered. And Vitality are going to get, what, 8 seconds of that hill? That's a wonderful hold there from Red Reserve.
Most definitely is. They take the lead. They have the streaks. Whether they choose to invest them, it's going to be really interesting here. I think it's more whether they need to. Right now, they don't. They have control here. Joey's going to pull out the fighter pilot and maybe just secure this. He's going to know exactly where they're coming from. Got to be careful where you're putting it. Putting the Whalers to bed there. He's going to have 2 in the ground. You've got Riskin up top as well. And the one thing I will say, Riskin is on a 5-kill streak and he's using this fighter pilot perfectly, but he has a PPSH top restaurant. Not ideal, but he's going to completely wipe out Red Reserve. He's going to open the gates now for his squad. I would like to see him get involved here, or at least kind of have an STG or something up there.
Yeah, it would probably help out based on positioning with his weapon, but honestly, he's earned himself that glide bomb. It may actually be worth just kind of dropping it down, considering how close to full streaks he is. The problem is with 15 seconds left, he has to anticipate Red Reserve pushing over towards the next hill, which of course is on his current location, and if he's able to get that plus 100, he's going to be even closer towards those streaks. 0 challenges from mid, the kill comes through. Now pressure on Riskin, just needs 50 points. Is he going to be able to stay alive long enough? The streaks for Vitality could be massive considering how close this is. 95-93. Now he actually says, hey, you know what? Let me use the glide bomb to get fully streaked out. Rated, he will fall, but 25 points is now all Riskin needs.
Yeah, and a 10-kill streak. He did the right thing of staying up here with a PPSH. What a way to prove me wrong there. His team locked it down over at the lookout post. He's hold the fort here. And you know what? Up close and personal, just looking out of this window, a PPSH is probably the best weapon you have. He's got the artillery as well. He's actually pulled that in, and I like the spot he's used it. is this the right time to use it?
So
we're gonna question it.
Right, you're probably going to get the, full 30 seconds there of that hill because they can't push through the front door. You know they've got valuable spawns, so it really does give you all that free time. The problem is, are you going to control the spawns? And now the hill gets broken in, Phil. I don't know if that was the best use.
Hill was broken. That's 15 seconds, sorry. The spawns was flipped. They've actually managed to take out Zero out of the hard point. That's really, really big. But the spawns are flipped. That's the biggest thing now, and we still have the streaks in the hands of Joe. So a lot was invested into that for Vitality, and yes, they regained the lead. But I feel on these next couple of hills, Red Reserve, they can really get some momentum going.
They most definitely can. And again, Joe, a key player to watch here at 17 and 11. He has had a phenomenal start to this map, still with 2 very valuable streaks. And honestly, he's getting to that point, Phil, where, you know, if he gets a kill and jumps on the hill, he could be actually overlapping the glide bomb and potentially the artillery barrage. He needs a little bit of help. In fact, there is the fighter pilot. And again, still waiting for the help to come.
And that help is coming. Oh my goodness, that is not what I wanted to see there. I will say a 2-kill streak for Riskin and Moles completely flipped the spawns again, which you may have missed before. Vitality completely disregard, you know, the streaks of what Red Reserve have. They break through. They've got another 20 seconds here. I think having this game 2 as technically what is our game 3 for Vitality is going heavily in their favor. Red Reserve, they seem to have come out very, very slow. Look at Josh. Look at Rated.
Yeah, they both need to step up. Let's not beat around the bush there. 9 and 15, 9 and 21. But here's the big thing. We now rotate over towards parking lot. And this is where Red Reserve got, 52 seconds, 52 points essentially from the first rotation. If I'm Joe, I'm seriously considering using the streaks on this hill just to ensure that you have another good rotation on parking. If your teammates are staying around you, of course, then yeah, maybe you don't need to use the streaks. And it started off very well for Red Reserve. You see how far pushed off the hill they are, but finally the kills come through. Xerox and Moles with big wins. It's going to leave Joe in the hill, waiting for the Vitality players to come.
Error from Moles there as the key toon kill comes in. But you're right, Ben. You said that these streaks may need to come in, and he's invested them. He's going to clean up 2. Riskin's actually from behind, so he's got to be really careful. But with 22 seconds, these are very, very much needed for Red Reserve. They can tie up the game. They can even take the lead here going into that lookout post. And don't forget, we've still got 1 more streak in the hands of Joe.
2.
Oh, 2 more streaks, sorry. And he's 21 and 12. Just recognize the interaction level, along with the 100 points that he's put on the board for his team. That's incredible.
And again, I want to highlight, using that fighter pilot there gives Red Reserve another lifeline to just prolong this game. And with 2 streaks, a glide bomb, and also the artillery, honestly, if you're Joe, you drop the artillery, and that's exactly what he decides to do. You drop the artillery on this hill, you fight from the front, you make sure Vitality can't get any points, and more importantly, if you can find an angle where you can get some points yourself, you know, more power to you. But Joe, still with a glide bomb, and working about halfway towards that fighter pilot as well, going for the long flank, and this is basically the Joe show. Almost double positive. He's going to continue his rampage, now making his way over towards the hill, but needs help. It has to be said. This man needs help. This man almost gets himself a triple kill. The support needs to come through here from Red Reserve.
Does he need help? That's the question. The answer is yes. I am being a little sarcastic on that one, but he's absolutely beasting it here. 24 and 13, make that 14 now. But what he's done there, the kill that he made, he left 1 player weak, he pushed into the hill, he made another kill, he opened so many doors up there, but again, Josh going down, it's actually Joe who falls as well. Red Reserve are so lucky to have Joe going off right now. Otherwise, this would be a bit of a battering here for Vitality.
It most definitely would. Riskin actually got a nice double kill there. Kills both players from Red Reserve, as you mentioned, Phil. And, you know, Riskin, we haven't really put much limelight on him, but 23 and 11. He's had a fantastic map himself with over 60 seconds hill time. He makes his way over towards the new hill. Now, pre-firing a newer player was up top. Red Reserve break it. And, Phil, this game, which I honestly thought could be extremely one-sided in favor of Red Reserve, is unbelievably close.
Well, we saw Vitality game 1 today versus Optic Gaming. They outslayed Optic Gaming and lost the first map. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw the same here. We are getting Zero now, starting to heat up as well. 5-kill streak for him. He's going to get streaks as well. If he just finds the last one, and he does, the Mortar Strike fully available. And Zero, when he does start to heat up, that is a dangerous sight for anyone.
And Vitality cannot allow this game to go to another parking lot. They just can't. They've averaged, what, 7, 8, 9 points potentially off 2 rotations. It has not been good at all. Vitality need to win this game here in WWII. Otherwise, I'm very, very afraid for the outcome for them. At least, of course, Joe still with a glide bomb. Bear that in mind, Phil.
Yeah, and still doing work here. He picks up 1 kill, and he's actually going to spawn right at the back. Credit to Zero, because he was the one that backs down. He's the one that is trying to manipulate those spawns, and he's the one that's calling in those streaks. Doesn't find the first with that glide bomb, but he is going to push 2 players out. We're going to see a 2-2 trade, and these kills now do favor Red Reserve, and the reason why is those spawns.
that time.
Look at where Red Reserve are spawned and look at Vitality. Yes, they're 20 points in the lead, Ben. And I think we're going to be seeing another parking lot. That is the exciting stuff right now.
I think we will. And look at the spawn from Rated. He gets absolutely blessed, but the hill's actually broken. And is there enough time to win? Oh, this is close.
I think there is, and they're going to have to rain down fire. The problem is, they're using every streak, and what they've done here, they've pushed them out, basically saying, we'll push them all out, and we'll take it to parking lot. They cannot win here. We're going to parking lot. Red Reserve, they have put all their eggs in one basket, and it is the parking lot.
I have to say that must have been miscommunication. A glide bomb and a fighter pilot both used at the same time. I feel like someone just said, use a streak, and both players instinctively recognized, hey, we have to, otherwise we're going to lose the game. They drop both. Vitality now just 2 points is all they need, but Red Reserve have been almost flawless on parking lot so far. Can they do it again?
Well, that's what they've set up for, those 2 streaks. Maybe we just get them the hell out of that hard point. It worked. They needed a couple of seconds. Now we're going to see Moles breaking through. Riskin picks up one. Moles puts Rated to bed, and this should be a break. It must be a break, and it's Joe all alone, the last alive. They're going to find the 250, and Red Reserve are going to lose map number 1. Vitality. The French are showing what they're made of.
An unbelievably close game once again, but as you said, Phil, Vitality break when they needed to. Zero, he dropped the mortars down just a fraction too slow. Of course, he couldn't call them in originally because Joe was in the hill, and he doesn't want to call in the mortars and potentially team kill. A little unfortunate that really not much Joe could do, and it's ironic almost, isn't it, that the final play comes down for Joe, essentially a 1 versus 4, 4 French players flying towards the hill. A little bit too much for him to do that.
And you've got to feel kind of a little bit disheartened as well. For Red Reserve, they kind of came in. They started super slow, and it was almost like it was out of reach, and they did fight their way back into it. They did crawl, and it was that last break onto Winery, which came from obviously Vitality. They pushed and pinched at the right places at the right time, and from that, they could have finished it right there. Red Reserve invest all their streaks. They have to, and rightfully so. I mean, you put them down. You know, you forced them out, but they needed a flawless parking lot. For the first 2 rotations, they pretty much did. Third one, Vitality, they learned their mistakes. And for me, it was Moles who kind of opened up the gap as well as Riskin at the back.
A wonderful, wonderful clutch play there coming in from Vitality. They take map number 1, and again, it is worth reiterating, the first game of the day, they looked really, really good against Up to Gaming. 3-0, you know, probably doesn't tell you the full story of that result, but Vitality, they're fighting, of course, to make sure they don't fall into relegation. No one wants that added pressure. On the flip side, for Red Reserve, this win would guarantee them a playoff spot. They still have plenty more games to play throughout the week, but it's better to start your week off strong, guarantee that playoff spot, and then you can start worrying about seeding.
I've actually hung out a little bit over the weekend with Zero and Josh and speaking to them about their run, and I think they have Vitality, Echo Fox, and then they play like the big dogs. They've got like TK and another big name, whether it's Optic or someone. But I was saying, like, it couldn't be more perfect. You have that Vitality team to kind of, you know, beat, warm up, feel good, secure the spot.
Right.
Then you can start the flow. Then you can start going into those last games where it's we win and we get first or second seed. Because the one thing that Red Reserve have been saying, and in particular Josh, was like, we don't want to come into 4th seed and go into playoffs playing LG first. Like, if LG finish top, we don't want to finish 4th. They want that top 2 spot, and rightfully so. $500,000 on the line for playoffs. However, it didn't start well here.
It most definitely didn't. 250 to 240. Vitality take map 1. We now head over to an Arda and Forest search and destroy. We'll stay in Forest for the CTF. One thing to note, we mentioned it on the desk earlier on. If you watched Hot Mic earlier on in the day, you will have heard Josh make the point. Game 5s for Red Reserve have not gone well. He actually mentioned that he doesn't think Red Reserve has won a single Game 5. So you have to think, if you're Red Reserve, you want to finish this now by winning the next 3 maps in a row.
And I don't think they've been 3-0 or 3-1. Every loss has been a 3-2. They've said every time we lose, it's a Game 5.
Is that, you're a former player yourself. I mean, you were a fantastic player back in the day. When you have that, is it a mental block, you think, Phil, or what is it?
I think it's one of those things where, say you lose a Game 5, you know, it happens.
Yeah.
Then you get into another Game 5, and okay, you lose it a second time, but then it starts to play in your mind. And then suddenly you're in a Game 5, and you're like, oh, this is good. And then it can start to become a mental thing. Red Reserve, they went through a period where Rated changed his Twitter profile to an egg, and they couldn't close out games. Then they started closing them out in 3 and 4. Little bit of a different problem. However, they're 1-0 down against Vitality.
And luckily for them, this is Game 2, not Game 5. One thing to note, Red Reserve, I think they read the play perfectly. One thing you've seen Vitality do a fair amount of times now in Ardent Forest is they'll go for that A push, they'll smoke out, and they'll just fly. And this time, it is not going to happen. Red Reserve set up, ready and waiting for the Vitality push. And Vitality, recognizing the cabin push won't work via bunker, they decide to wrap it over towards mid-map. 3 players there. Need to be careful no one pushes through Bell side. They currently have no eyes on that, and if Red Reserve want to, which Josh could be considering, they could go for a very quick flank. Instead, the push through mid-map is going to come through Molotov's first blood.
Yeah, Vitality, very, very strange method here, but it's definitely seemed to work. Joe is going to kick things off with a first kill, and he's now got a 1v3 on his hands. He's going to see the second, not going to pick it up, and Vitality, they've already played again.
Yeah.
Arden Forest, S&D, they've done this. You know, they've been through it already. Hopefully, for these guys, they can come in hot and close it out again. You know, they pick up another win here. They put it 2-0 in the series, and first of all, guarantees a game 5, but also puts Red Reserve in an awful spot. Because in the back of their mind, it's not that they're losing to Vitality and maybe losing a playoff spot. It's, oh, we are dropping down the seedings here. This is not good news.
Definitely very, very scary. A lovely first round from Vitality. The adjustment mid-round, recognizing, hey, A isn't going to work. Hit mid-map, fly to B. They win the gunfights and ultimately win the round. And now you can see Risk actually getting very aggressive. Pushes straight through mid-map. Finds first blood on 0. Can he stay alive? That's going to be key. Well, with Whalers landing shots like that with the support of Xerox, this round should all be over. It's down to Joe again. Another 1v4 back-to-back. This time, though, he does make it a 1v2. Can he finish the round up? He actually manages to force a 1v1 engagement towards the backside, but he isn't going to check the corner, and sadly for Joe, ultimately will fall.
Yep, seems to be the Joe show right now. And
give my man some help.
Hard point S&D, come on. I mean, the one thing I was saying and praising the socks off of Red Reserve last week was to watch them play S&D is beautiful. You know, you watch these guys, they work so well together, they're so coordinated and disciplined.
Yep.
I've not seen anything as of that from the likes of Rated today. I know we're only just into the second map. I mean, I can't say, you know, sometimes I will say, oh, I saw Red Reserve warming up earlier, or Vitality. You know, I didn't go backstage, so I didn't know when the guys got here, but I hope they haven't taken this game too lightly.
I mean, it is very easy to, right? You're going up against the bottom of the division. Sometimes it's easy to say, we've guaranteed ourselves a win here, but Vitality have been looking fantastic from what we've seen today. The one thing that a lot of people have given Red Reserve a ton of praise for is their use of tacticals, the way they use their stuns, their nades, smokes. They're very, very efficient at it, more so than a lot of other teams, specifically in Search and Destroy. They need to be careful, though, because Vitality, I feel like they've been learning. They really have. They've been adjusting very well with their use of tacticals themselves, and it does make this map a little bit more interesting to just see that small little micro part of the game play out.
Yeah, and with a team like Vitality, as bad as it may sound, you know, when you're at the bottom, there's only one way up, one direction. That's
the only way
to improve. Right? You know, it's very hard to get worse when you're playing teams that are better than you all the time, players that are better than you. You learn. You start to pick up things from each player, and I think Mindfreak's a prime example of that. They've improved tenfold on their hard points. Is this enough right now? Can Vitality close this out? A lot of people will be like, okay, they're 1-0 up, and yes, they're 2-1 up in the map, but at this point, you can't take this away from Red Reserve. You've got so much kind of faith in them from what they showed last week and the weeks before. Vitality have still got a lot of work to do here.
Yeah, it's all good and well. You know, Vitality winning map number 1, but you got to win 3 maps to win the series, and they do have the lead, as you said, here in map number 2, Arden Forest. Red Reserve do fight back, though. They get their first round on the board, so still a 2-1 advantage in favor of the French squad, and it goes back over now to Red Reserve on the attacking side. Rated picks up bomb. Of course, him and Josh still a little bit of a struggle here. It has carried through to map 2.
Stun is not going to connect, and Whalers taking full advantage. First blood will get the grenade out.
Looking for more. Xerox knows that the Red Reserve push has to come through, and that's the problem, right, Phil? Once you get that first blood on a B push, you're instantly Red Reserve. You think, well, all right, what do we do now? And you see them just kind of backtrack. They're looking over towards mid-map. The problem is Riskin's going to be there. He finds 0, and now Vitality find themselves in a 4v2.
Yeah, and you got to be concerned. You got to be worried here, because Vitality is starting to get some momentum themselves here. They've got a 2-2 divide at A and B, and right now, surprisingly, Red Reserve have split up.
It's funny as well. I was just praising both teams on their use of tacticals, and the first thing we see this round is a missed stun, right? And you see how big of an effect that can potentially have on a round. Now Whalers looking to just hunt down Josh. Josh left scrambling for his life, and the rotation could come through, but the problem is, look at Vitality. They've left a massive gap in their setup, and it's going to be mid-map, and COD timing at its finest could come through here. If Riskin doesn't check his left, I mean, you would expect him to, but may not even need to. Teammates find 1, bomb is down. They'll get the audio cue, and with 15 seconds left, Josh only at 100 points now. You may as well just try and play for some kills.
Yeah, this is not great for Red Reserve, and we're actually going to see Josh fall as well, so feeding another kill to them. This is difficult to watch if you're a Red Reserve fan. However, Vitality is showing signs of light, and it shows most definitely in their gameplay here. The question is for Vitality again, as much as Red Reserve have been maybe choking Game 5s, Vitality haven't seen many. They've not reached that. You know, yes, they've won a map here and there, and been defeated 3-1 and lost 3-2, but do they have what it takes to keep their nerve now when they're up? They're in a position which they're not used to.
That's a great point. You get 2-0 up in the series, and all of a sudden you go to a Game 5. It's very easy to start thinking, oh God, we're choking, it's happening again. So you would, of course, love to see them try and close it out before it gets to that point. Of course, Game 2, still not over, though, despite the Vitality 3-1 lead. Still very possible for Red Reserve to come back into this one. On board with Zero to kick things off, and he throws the nade. Josh cleans up Xerox. First blood in their favor. Now, let's watch how Vitality adapt, of course. Once again, very similar to last round, if you remember, when Red Reserve tried the bead push. First blood came through for the defensive side, and you can already see that bomb making its way over towards them.
Difficult shots for Mauls there, does connect with a couple of bullets as well, and I am watching that bomb, seeing where exactly they're looking to dictate this. Right now, they're in the middle, and any shot at B is going to be a no-go. They walk around here, and Zero should be able to pick them apart. Keyword should.
Definitely.
Mauls takes down Zero.
Oh, don't even think about it, Mauls. He's going to go straight for Josh. He has him one shot. Are there any nades that could come through? I don't think so. Again, with the hit marker, Josh just lying there, praying he gets away with this with his life. Meanwhile, Riskin, he's hit the flank. Josh does fall, and Red Reserve collapse. So many holes in the setup there. Now, though, can Joe once again go big for the team? He's been in 2 1v4s. Now he's in a 1v3 as well. This is not looking good for Red Reserve at all, Phil.
Yeah, and a lot of you guys may be wondering, obviously, up top there, you will get that damage through that little brick wall. It's obviously taken into consideration. But Vitality there just, again, been very structured here. And Red Reserve, it's interesting, again, because these guys, may have come into this a little bit overconfident. We're speaking to, some of the production and kind of having a conversation. Are Red Reserve overconfident? Are they cocky? Are they just confident? Are they realists? Are they not? And sometimes, it's great having that confidence. But, sometimes it can backfire. Not that that necessarily is the case here. Maybe they're just having a bit of a rough game, and most definitely can turn it around, and Rated looking to do so with a very quick kill on Riskin.
And you saw Red Reserve not waste any time. They push over towards the A site, smoke out, get the first blood, but instantly the trades come through. Bomb is now down inside A room. Whaler's just got fantastic timing. I believe he did just see Zero at the corner of his eye, and Xerox is going to collapse upon Zero. Doesn't even need to get there, and what was looking like a great start for Red Reserve, Vitality turn around and say, no, we're going to take control of this round. Rated has other things to say, though. Now 1 versus 1. Him versus Whalers.
Does have the bomb in hand. He's on a 2-kill streak right now, but has a lot of time to play with here, and Rated will know that. They'll take full advantage of this. And I think we've got a stalemate, a standoff, should I say, of Whalers and Rated. Both on kill streaks. Whalers have found 3.
Well, both players just waiting to see if anyone's going to rotate. Curious to see if Rated gets good timing. If he went over towards A, would Whalers even bother checking the bomb? And that's of course the thing. Whalers, to your point, Phil, close to some streaks of his own. He has laid here the entire time in this 1v1. I think is he going to hear the bomb? Yep. Here's the bomb. Rated. That's highly, highly unfortunate. He falls, and Whalers gets the kill and the defuse.
4-kill streak, defuse, and 5-1. That is the big number to take down. If you are making notes back home, 5-1 to Vitality. They're 1 round away from, of course, putting Red Reserve in an awful position. And you can almost see the frustration in Rated.
I mean, you will be frustrated there when you've basically laid down waiting to see if he's going to rotate. Obviously, he doesn't know it now. When he goes back and watches the VOD, he's going to be infuriated. The fact that Whalers just kind of played that as passive as he did. He expected to see some movement. No movement came through. And the funny part of this whole thing, Phil, is the start of the day. So today should be a very easy day to predict. We're 3 games in. The first game went about as expected. Second game definitely didn't. And the third game, well, this is just upset city.
Yeah, I mean, this it'd be one for the books for sure if we saw a Vitality victory over Red Reserve. And Mind Freak, you know, will be watching as well, thinking, you know, we've just beat TK. Awesome. Great job, guys. This will be an awesome position. But Vitality pick out the win against Red Reserve here, which First Blood noted goes to Mauls. You've got to just give credit where credit is due here. And right now, Vitality are having fun. 2 go down, though, as Josh and Joe answer back. Leaves Mauls and Xerox in a 2v3 to win the map. Make that a 2v2. It's all down to you, Mauls.
And that's unfortunate because Xerox just got the call out that Mauls killed one of the Red Reserve players in that exact same spot. Now Mauls is going to have the same gunfight. He just won, tries it again. Rated, he isn't going to lose it this time. And that keeps Red Reserve alive, but I mean, talk about an uphill battle here, Phil. Down 5-1, you win another round 5-2. And to be honest, with the way Vitality are playing here, I just can't see a Red Reserve comeback. I just can't see it.
It is difficult, for sure. The problem is, again, closing things out. How good are Vitality at actually closing these games out? The hard point, I will say, they played it well. They played it as they should. And now we're in S&D. You know, God forbid if we see, you know, a comeback here on the Search and Destroy for Red Reserve, you'd literally start flipping the turntable. As we do see a 3v3, Xerox does kick it off as well with a kill, and Red Reserve now in a very, very difficult position.
And the problem is for Red Reserve, absolutely nothing has worked in the offensive rounds, right? So what do? Exactly what they did last time. Smoke grenade goes out. They try the A rush this time. It just doesn't work out. The trade's not there. Vitality with a 3-2 advantage. Zero and Rated left to try and clutch up big time here. Looking at Mauls, though. Will he be able to spot Rated over towards that first hard point?
For me, it's checking back and forth, but honestly, it's moving so quick, I wouldn't even realize. But there he is.
Now
okay,
he
there's the call out. I think he knew that Bomb was down, and I think that's why he was so agitated about where this player's going. Call out from Xerox comes in, but Mauls might have it all in the bag himself. All down to Rated. He should be shut down here. That's a GG for game number 2. Vitality closing things out. And Red Reserve at a very shocking position right now. They're 0-2 in the map count on the series against Vitality.
I hate to be brutal, but Vitality made that look simple.
Yeah.
That didn't look like it was a problem at all. And there's a look at the Red Reserve boys. Having to essentially reevaluate. I'm sure at the start of the day they did not expect to be set in this situation. 2-0 down to Vitality.
It's difficult, and some teams will be, you know, at each other's throats. Some people and teams will just be silent, and it looks like Red Reserve they're collecting their thoughts is probably a nice way to say it. However, difficult for Red Reserve.
Very, very difficult indeed as it stands. Vitality, the 2-0 lead in the series. Potential major upset on the cards as Red Reserve look to try and guarantee their spot at playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the first day of the final week of the CWL Pro League Division A matches. Third game of the day, and well, what a game it has proven to be. A battle of Europe as Vitality find themselves now 2-0 up against Red Reserve. And Phil, in that commercial break, we actually got a little bit of important news. We mentioned, of course, a Red Reserve win here guarantees them promotion. Well, ironically enough, a Vitality loss would secure them relegation, so they really are fighting for their lives.
Yeah, and I think they know it. You know, we may be a bit late to the party in knowing that ourselves. However, Vitality, they are fighting for survival. Like you said, they win here, you know, they're non-relegation, or the top 6 is still alive for them. They lose here, they're in relegation, and, you know, what happens for the rest of their matches, it'll be disappointing, it'll be heart-crushing for these guys. However, 250 to 240 with a 10-point victory in hardpoint. And we see them then go on and honestly make Ardent Forest S&D look pretty easy. And
very easy.
Now we're going into a capture the flag. We're sticking to the forest here. And Red Reserve, I don't know what's happened in the brief 5-minute break that we've just had. However, they need to change something. They need to get back into that mentality of, you know, they are the best team in the world, which I firmly do believe they think. And stop pulling something out the back.
Yeah, Joe's been phenomenal this series. He's just really needed a little bit of help, and that's hopefully what you get here if you're a Red Reserve fan. You really need everyone else to really just step up in terms of the slaying category, because he really has been by himself. Hate to harp on about it, but at the end of the day, it is true. Xerox, he's going to pull mid-map, but 3 players go down for Red Reserve. Joe, last man up again. He drops mid-map. Full map control goes to Vitality. Now, they probably are going to need to slay out another wave of kills here before they can touch the flag, though. I
think Red Reserve, they need a hot start, and that doesn't mean like a flag instantly, but they can't go 1-0 down in this ETF. I think that's sometimes where, you know, you will get that mental breakdown of a player where you're 2-0 down in the series, and you find yourself 1-0 down. You're like, guys, like, this is crumbling. This is all falling apart. If they can secure a flag, go up. What I would love to hear is Josh, get a bit hyped. Start getting this team, you know, raring to go. Getting those communications flowing is so important. However, 90 seconds have passed, and we are going to see here Red Reserve now just regain control of the map here, and they'll need these next couple of kills to secure anything.
And that should realistically give them a little bit of confidence that you were talking about there, right? 4 players go down for Red Reserve. They know Vitality is pushing, and they manage to survive. Now a big collapse is coming through. Joe's pushing all the way behind. That's going to be a problem as well, because Vitality, they're going to spawn over towards the Bell side, so they have to make sure they're swift and quick with the push. The flag goes out, but Joe's left scrambling back. That is not the world's greatest stun you've ever seen, and the problem that will leave is that Mauls, I believe, has already got through. He's going to be fighting on that Red Reserve flag. The kills come through, though. Josh and Rated clutch up. Red Reserve go 1-0 up.
That's just what they needed. And this, for me now, yes, they're 2-0 down. Red Reserve are not out of this series whatsoever. You need to start to get some hot streaks going. Rated's on a 3. It wouldn't surprise me if we started to hear Josh get a little bit hyped if they can continue this. However, Vitality, flip things over. They need to nip this in the bud. They need to counter this. They need to really put on a show here. However, this is not good news. 3 kill streak for Rated, 3 for 0. We've got streaks now in hands of 0 as well. Red Reserve, after 2.5 minutes, are most definitely looking like the better CTF squad.
Yeah, 0 doesn't get fully streaked out, but the first 2 definitely going to have a big impact on this one. Joe, meanwhile, pushing through mid-map. He's going to fall again. He's risking they clean that up. Leaves Rated on defensive duty for now, at least. He's 6-1 to your point, a 4 streak. So if he's able to get some streaks of his own here, that could be massive for Red Reserve. Essentially, you know, 4 to 5 streaks available to use. You can use them defensively. You can use them aggressively if you really want to as well.
Yeah, and Rated will love this position he's in now. He doesn't have to move. He can sit behind cover. He's got the support of his team. And yes, again, it's this point that we spoke about last time where they push up to bunker and go, Joe, go on, off you go, round the back. Good job, Joe. And there you go. He's picked up Xerox. 0 picks up 2 in bunker. And here's the man himself. He's picked up the flag. That should be a clean-up kill. And, oh, it's Joe again.
You would have loved to see Rated get that kill there. And now he's left having to cut the map completely, which is a little bit scary because he is so close to the streaks. Finds the kill. Fighter Pilot has been earned. 10 points is all he needs for a glide bomb. And the problem is normally you would say, okay,
a flag. I'm just going to put a glide bomb on his head. And, you know, it mostly works, you know, with so much open air. But to use them offensively and in the right situation, that's a little bit more difficult.
And here's the big problem as well for Vitality. It forces them to put on Mountain. Let's not forget, right? So you're not going to have that airborne rush, and it leaves them maybe just a little bit more vulnerable. Of course, just flicking through a couple of the Vitality players, you've already seen two rocking Mountain. I believe it's just the one that isn't. We'll see if potentially they all change to that. So, of course, it doesn't, I don't want to say nullify streaks completely, because, you know, you still have eyeballs when you're dropping a glide bomb or dropping in a fighter pilot, of course. But it definitely will aid them. But, of course, the counter to that is they're not going to be as quick when they go for these flag pulls.
Yeah, you know, you get the flag, you're slower. We've got stuns, you got Mountain. You just sat there laughing at them almost. And ironically, it looks like Whalers is... on his Mountain class, he hasn't changed his reticle, as we're so used to see the dot, and he'll have to deal with that, but it's no big deal for a professional player. But we are seeing Whalers, not just Whalers, but Vitality answering the call here. There is one player sneaking through, and that is Josh. I'd love to see exactly what he does have in store. He's got a stun in store. Whalers is looking vulnerable, and Josh is going to take full advantage. This is the safety net that we talked about. That stop is going to be crucial. We've now got two players pushing on the pitch. It's going to be a return.
Yep, and they obviously use a streak there as well, just to guarantee it. But this is where it gets scary for Vitality, because Red Reserve, they got those 3 kills in quick succession, and they could potentially put pressure on for a counter to come through. They have a ton of map control. They did have the kills. Another wave trying to come through. It's just down to one player. It's Whalers. It's a one-on-one. Zero wins it. Now the question, where are they going to spawn? And can Zero get the flag out quick enough? One player spawns cabin, 2 with a cabin spawn. And it seems like Riskin is trying to cut the map quickly, but it's a supportive streak now on the aggressive side, and Joe doesn't see the player mid-cut, and that is huge. Zero ultimately falls, and that will be a big, big return for Vitality.
Xerox has actually just used and invested his fighter pilot as well, so that is a big investment for the side of Vitality. I think they may have got the return anyway, but I think what they were trying to do is completely flip it on its head.
Yeah.
Take something out, because at the end of the day, they can trade these kills, they can trade these streaks all day long. They're still 2-0 down. They need to make some ground here upon Red Reserve, and that time's ticking.
That's a good point. 2 minutes 40 left to go. And Vitality still need 2 flags just to force OT. Rated back on defensive duty, finds 1. Instantly drops, and Josh has once again found his way in towards cabin, relatively unnoticed, but Whalers turns around and snaps onto him, slows down that attacking push, and again, if you're Red Reserve at this point, you can just say, hey, Joe, Josh, try and be sneaky, try and get behind them. We're comfortable. We have a 2-0 lead with 2 minutes left, and Rated actually decides to call in a fighter pilot here.
Yeah, and it's interesting how you go from map 1 of Joe being the superstar. Joe's never, ever, ever going to be that superstar on CTF. Unless something crazy happens. But Rated and Zero, they've stepped it up now. They're finding their groove. They're 14-9 and 17-10. And finally, we do see Rated go down, and this flag's out, Ben.
It is worth mentioning, though, you know, we're talking about Joe never being the superstar statistically. Makes a fantastic decision to overextend all the way through Ruins, counter-pulls the flag. This, however, is the key. He needs to win the gunfight. His teammates dropping like dominoes around him, and it seems like with the support there of Rated, he will survive for now. So with a minute 33, stalemate situation. I bet Vitality wish they had that fighter pilot now.
And talking of fighter pilots, Joe actually has one. So yes, he'll be the one sitting at the back, but now when 3 players start to push up, after the next kill here, there we go. So that's the important kill. We're actually going to see Joe go down to a grenade, so someone's going to have to track back, but this is pretty comfortable, I will say, for Red Reserve. Even though Whalers is getting that kill, it's so far back that it can always make that ground. We're going to see them spawn up instantly. They're going to spawn around their flag. They've got the streaks. 60 seconds, Ben.
And that's a key decision as well from Red Reserve. Who to give the flag to? It makes sense to give it to Zero, because, of course, if he gets any more kills with it, he's going to earn his streaks quicker. He was the closest to streaks. Speaking of streaks, Zero is actually going to call in the first. That's going to be a fighter pilot. Can he find more? Doesn't look like it. 46 seconds left. Vitality, they need to return, and they're going to need it quickly, but Rated going big on the other side. Will he be able to stretch it far enough to get the return? He's anticipating a spawn to come through. He could just dive on, gets the return, and that will be all she wrote here in Game 3. A wonderful response from Red Reserve. You started to panic a little bit there as Vitality went 2-0 up, but now there's still chance, Phil, of a reverse sweep in a Game 5.
Yeah, and even, you know, sooner look, the thing that secured it was Joe's pull, his retention on the back, and yes, you know, it doesn't show in the scoreboard, but Joe's actually had a great game, and I'll give him credit to there. He's been the one always pushing around Ruins. or alternatively through cabin. But mainly that ruin side on the first half for him was crucial in obtaining these flags. 3-0 victory here for Red Reserve, and Vitality now will be thinking, you know, yes, we're 2-0 up, we've just given this away. I can't recall the hard point. Which
Valkyrie.
We've got Valkyrie going up next, which I will heavily favor Red Reserve on. Not only because they now have a little bit of momentum, but the SMG presence on that squad. I tell you what, Zero's nasty with that PPSH when you give it him.
Definitely is. He definitely is. The question, however, is, again, if it went to a Game 5, will Red Reserve finally be able to close one out, or could this be another loss for them? It's funny, right? Because normally we talk about reverse sweeps and, you know, how sometimes you can get confidence from them. Well, you'd have Red Reserve who were 2-0 up, and then they go into the Game 5, maybe feeling a little bit down, right? And then on the flip side, you'd have Red Reserve who are making the reverse sweep, but they're like, well, we've never won a Game 5. And how is that going to affect them? So essentially, you're going to have two teams going into the Game 5 Search and Destroy, maybe not full of confidence.
Yeah, I think if it does go Game 5, you've got to reflect on how the first 4 games went, and 3 and 4 would have gone to Red Reserve if that is the case. Then you've got to favor Red Reserve. I think they're a great S&D team, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking that Ardent Forest was like a walk in the park for this French squad. So you can't discount anyone right now, but it may not even reach that Game 5. Vitality will want to close it in 4. Valkyrie, an interesting pick, obviously, between the two teams. Again, I look at the SMG presence, and Xerox, you know, for the past 2-3 years, awesome assault rifle player. Riskin, exactly the same. Whalers, exactly the same. They're a very AR-heavy team, and yes, can Riskin and Xerox pull out SMGs? Can Whalers? Yes. But it's different. We saw Formal. You know, he's a great SMG player, but he played Valkyrie map 1, it didn't go well.
Right.
That was against Vitality. So, Ben, I'm in this, I want to say triangular, but it feels like a hexagon of some sort where I'm like back and forth. This team's better than that team.
So here's what worries me.
I'm a little confused.
In the first game of the day that you're referring to, the Valkyrie hardpoint Optic Gaming versus Vitality, Vitality outslayed Optic Gaming and still lost.
Yes.
Right? That's something which realistically you just can't do, right?
Quite worrying, really.
It is a little bit. Obviously, if you're Red Reserve, I don't expect Vitality to outslay Red Reserve. I just don't expect it, especially on this map. So for me, I'm a little worried here for Vitality. Hopefully they do come out and obviously prove me wrong. I would love a Game 5, absolutely love it, especially between two top quality European teams. And again, to reiterate the big storylines here, Red Reserve, a win in this series guarantees them their spot at playoffs. Of course, they will have plenty of other chances. It isn't like this is their final chance, but on the flip side, Vitality's back is truly against the wall. A loss here will see them confirmed as a relegation team.
Yeah, and that's upsetting as well, because these guys, you know, it's not Vitality's last game. They'll have to, you know, go into other series already.
And that has to suck.
Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, you're up next against Rise Nation. You're already in relegation. Good luck, have fun. It's just not nice.
You just got to test stuff, don't you? I mean, of course, CWL Atlanta is coming up,
Yeah.
so still plenty for all the boys that get relegated to play for. A ton of prize money, but no one wants to get relegated. Of course, we'll see relegation over in Seattle, so still a long time away from there. But Joe starts off Valkyrie hardpoint, essentially where he's left off from the first 2 maps, and even so, the stat line may not have reflected it in Game 3. Did put up a wonderful individual performance there as well, just in terms of decision making. It was a pleasure to watch, and Joe already 2-2.
SMGs, man, this is where I get excited, because Xerox and Riskin were the 2 I was looking at, because Whalers is that kind of player that maybe pull out a bar. And guess what? Xerox and Riskin, they've got 8 out of the 8 kills for their team. They're the ones really stepping it up and putting some numbers on the board. Love to see these guys excel in this department here, and you know what makes a great player is that versatility.
Yep.
Not only in game mode, but in the weapons that you choose, in the tactics that you will put down, and so far so good for Vitality. They're going to break off with a 30-point lead as we see the rotation coming in from Vents. It's going to go over to the bunker now, and that's going to be on the top of the minimap.
It's funny because you mentioned versatility, something Clay said on not the last top mic, but I think it was on one prior. You know, a lot of these guys have been playing Call of Duty now for, what, 10 years? Mm-hmm. Everyone should realistically be able to use pretty much everything. If you're an AR player, you should have ran a sub at some point, right? You should know how to use a sub. You should know the positioning. You should know exactly how to play it. So you do expect to see players transition a little easier than maybe some would like to make out.
Look at TK. TK, I think the change in meta now that we're going to is this SMG, you know, dominant one where, you know, we'll see a 3 SMG being pulled out on this Valkyrie map, for example. Mm-hmm. That's not going to favor TK. It's just not. But then you go to a forest and you're like, okay, then you got Chino and accuracy, and we're like, okay, we're happy. But Valkyrie being added to the pool, I think, added to the pool of maps, I think it makes it so much more exciting. It's another weakness or a strength that teams can play to. And again, a lot of more practice needs to go into this. So I'll be seeing a lot of teams exploiting this, or you guys maybe heading to Atlanta and, you know, whether it be open bracket. Start grinding. Start grinding this Valkyrie, because you're going to need to.
Especially Valkyrie Search and Destroy, something we really haven't seen too much of. We got a first glimpse of it yesterday. Of course, we're not going to see it in this series, but as it stands, Red Reserve looking good to try and make the reverse comeback. Of course, still early stages of this one as we head over towards storage. 73-36, the lead in favor of Red Reserve, and you look at that mini-map, Phil, they still have full control. The kills coming in their favor. But it is worth mentioning, one thing which isn't massively effective on this map, of course, is streaks. So a lot of places to hide, so don't really overemphasize that. It's still very helpful, of course, but as it stands, Red Reserve, they basically got a full 60 here on Bunker.
Yeah, I think, you know, the streaks you'll be looking to use towards smoke, and, you know, you're going to see that just kind of open a little bit. You pop them down in the hard point, you at least push the other team back, but you're absolutely right. A lot of these hard points are inside. They're not going to be useful, even like glide bombs. It takes 2 or 3 seconds and fighter pilots to even go in. There's a doorway somewhere close. You can like, yo, I'm getting inside, hold on. But like you said, Ben, a very strong start for Red Reserve. They lead by around 70 points here, as now we see the next rotation. We're heading to the office, and this time Whalers is in control, but he's the last alive here. The pre-fire is going to come in. He's going to be taken from the side. Josh and Rated storm in, brute force, and retake control for Red Reserve.
A little unfortunate there from Whalers. Read the situation like a book, jumped pre-fired, just didn't pre-fire long enough, and Red Reserve once again just break through, keeping the pressure on. And there's the one thing that could be a little problematic here for Vitality. You do not want Red Reserve to just get away with the game too soon, especially we're only in the first rotation of Hills, let's not forget. Already, Red Reserve pushing towards a 100-point lead if they're able to get this full scrap time.
Yeah, and predictions weren't looking great, I will say. However, Red Reserve, they could be saving a lot of people here on their predictions. Not over yet here, with only 5 seconds here. We're going to see again the rotation. Whalers sticking to the bar, and I think this is where he is most comfortable. We've seen him rock this not only on hardpoint, but this map in particular. I think he feels a lot more comfortable with it. Now, this is where we will see streaks, if any streaks were available, which I don't think they are.
A couple of players got close. I think someone did earn themselves a fighter pilot. Yeah, it was Whalers.
Okay.
Whalers did manage to get himself 1 streak, but the problem is his teammates, of course, have full control of the hill, so you may not want to waste it just yet. We'll see, though, if Vitality can just chip away at the early Red Reserve lead. It is still early on in the game. First rotation, that is, of course, and well, Whalers is absolutely beaming with the bar. So many times you've seen him pick up a couple of double kills in quick succession. Rated responds with a double of his own, but there's Xerox to instantly jump in the hill and play for the trade. Yeah,
and 20 seconds left on smokes. You got to start thinking back again to the bench. You're going to see again maybe a fighter pilot come in here, but 3 go down. Xerox last alive in the hill. He's going to get challenged for this last 10 seconds, and that's I want to say a 20-second difference, but really it's around 15 as Joe does swoop on in, tries to get his team a little bit closer to 150. But after that, Ben, we've had our full rotation. We see a lead here for Red Reserve, and a pretty strong one at that.
Yeah, the key for success in the first rotation from Red Reserve was the rotation from 3rd to 4th, right? It felt like they got a ton of time there. Really, Vitality kind of left to dry almost. They were able to just chip away again at that lead. It was about 100 points at some point in the game. As you see now, it's a little bit less, but Red Reserve still putting pressure. Vitality, of course, were fantastic in ventilation the first time around when the game started. Of course, it's the first hill of the second rotation, and it seems like they've really carried that through here. Just an overall good presence on the map.
Yeah, really good presence here, and you know, you look at the Slane, and we talked about how they outslayed Optic and lost. Slane pretty much dead even right now. We've got Rated going a little bit positive, Joe a little bit negative, but across the board it's pretty much square. Red Reserve, though, still lead by 60 points here. Xerox and Riskin now combining for the triple, and those last 5 seconds events will go in favor of Vitality. And this may be the start of a little bit of a comeback here.
Could potentially. Of course, the rotation is in from Vitality. It's a very easy rotation from 1st to 2nd. Not something they need to worry too much about. And again, slowly but surely chipping away at Red Reserve's lead. Moles, of course, playing a little slow. They're playing for the streaks. He did pick up that kill on 0. He's going to be 1 away. Whalers drops the fighter pilot as well. So Vitality putting a lot of resources into this hill to make sure that they can tie up this game. Moles earns himself not only his 1st, but his 2nd as well. The artillery will be massive. He gets it. Can he find another kill as well? Ultimately falls, but teammates there to trade. Red Reserve in the past, what, minute and a half, Phil, they're crumbling.
Yeah, this Vents and Bunker Hill has gone completely in Vitality's favor, which was the actual opposite of round one, if you like. It looks like Red Reserve, they've given up, they've sat back and said, you know what, we need to rotate, we're going to tie this game up, and we're going to go from there. The problem being is they've fed a lot of streaks here to Vitality, and here we go. We're going to see them straight away.
And we mentioned, you know, streaks may not be massively effective. Smoke, to your point, the last hill is really where you're going to see it. The artillery barrage could come in massive for Vitality, but of course Red Reserve, 3rd to 4th hill in the first rotation was where they had a ton of success. They need the same success and more this time around because Vitality closed the door. It was almost even. Of course, now Vitality fighting through. That's 3 dead. Red Reserve full, and Vitality again look to take the lead.
I love this here from Moles. He's really aggressive. He's getting in the right spots at the right time. He's aggressive, but not too aggressive. And look at Riskin. He's going for a little bit of a flank as well. Finds... Oh my goodness. All right.
Killed him.
I thought he killed him myself there. But we see a tie game at 176 apiece. Vitality, they have the lead. They have the score streaks. They have the hard point. And ladies and gentlemen, they're 2-1 up in the series. Do not forget that. Vitality, they're now wanting to close this series out. They're getting hyped here on the main stage.
That was exactly what I was about to mention. You hear the French boys getting loud, using the energy. They know their backs are against the wall. They do not want to see this go to a Game 5. A loss here would secure them in relegation. And Vitality doing everything they can to avoid it. Looking at Whalers, of course. He's making sure no one from Red Reserve is trying to get cheeky and maybe go for a little bit of a rotation from that side of the map. However, Red Reserve do now have control. There are streaks, though. We know Vitality still have streaks.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think, won and lost on Smoke. And, you know, whether that's going to be with the streaks or without the streaks, the one thing that I think Vitality need to be very aware of here is they cannot feed these next 30 seconds. Because if they give Red Reserve these 30 seconds and they give them streaks,
that's scary.
It's bad news. This is scary.
No.
This is scary.
This could spiral out of control. The 20 seconds of scrap, it looks like Vitality have said, you know what? Have it. It's yours. Take it. We'll rotate. We have streaks to back up our defensive plays.
Nasty.
But rated. A fantastic double. Looking for more. Can he find a third to his left? Nope. Very close to streaks. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, the smoke.
Damage done.
The streaks, which will be taken out of consideration there. Red Reserve, they do lead by 20 here, and most definitely Vitality again in the slain department. The problem right here now is they've got the streaks, and yes, the artillery barrage will stop any type of Red Reserve gaining points, but they have the hill here. All Red Reserve need to do is take them out the hill, push it to vents, and they can secure it there. But 40 seconds here, Ben. It's getting interesting.
If Vitality lose control, they have to use the artillery barrage. It finally comes through. Better late than never.
And now the artillery barrage, yes, it's going to push them out, but they can't really get in. Yeah. So it's going to go to vents either way. It's not a lose-lose situation. It's going to delay what some may say is the inevitable.
It's who can put themselves within touching distance, right? The artillery barrage finally goes away. 17 seconds left. Vitality can't win, and neither can Red Reserve. But Red Reserve can put themselves within seconds of victory, and of course on the flip side for Vitality, they can tie things up. This is an unbelievably close ending here to Game 4. It's going to be 233 to 232 as we rotate.
Oh my goodness, rated number 6. First into the vents. He's 35 and 26. Can he use a sub? Yes, he can. 2 go down from either side. Who's going to break in? We've got 2 players from Vitality. They're going to get shut down. And Whalers, last one alive, really trying to push this to the end.
Oh, it's team kill comes through. Whalers accidentally shuts down Moles. He was able to find one. The hard point still in Red Reserve's favor. Riskin doesn't have time to waste. He has to try and break through. He gets a kill. 249 breaks in, but ultimately falls. And Red Reserve clutch up in emphatic fashion to force a Game 5.
And again, those last kind of 20 seconds all kind of blended into one for me, but Vitality were outslaying Red Reserve. You know, yes, this hard point between 2 of these teams are so close. Game 1 was 10 points. That, again, you just saw it, ladies and gentlemen, such a close hard point. Now Vitality are like, we were 2-0 up. We were 1 map away from getting, you know, one more chance at not being in relegation. Now they're 1 map away from being in relegation, and Red Reserve are like, whew, okay, that was tough. Back to S&D. Deep breaths all round, including myself. But Red Reserve...
He knows what is on the line as they approach a Game 5. A Vitality loss means they will fall to relegation. A Red Reserve win means they clutch that awesome playoff spot. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. A Game 5 now on the horizon. Red Reserve, Team Vitality, all square at 2-2. Again, to reiterate the circumstances of this game, Vitality lose here, they will fall into guaranteed relegation period or zone, if you will. On the flip side, of Red Reserve win guarantees them sweet, sweet top 4 playoffs.
Oh, so beautiful.
So beautiful. It's within touching reach for the boys, and it's a strange one because I mentioned the mindset now going into this Game 5 a little bit earlier on. Of course, for Vitality, you had a 2-0 lead. You could have closed it out. Now, all of a sudden, Red Reserve making a comeback. Their heads may go down. For Red Reserve, strangely enough, yeah, you're going to have a little bit of momentum. Okay, yeah, you know, we're making this reverse sweep. But they've not won a Game 5. So I'm curious to see, you know, mentally where they're at as well.
Yeah, it's difficult. I think mentally for these guys, it's like, yeah, reverse sweep. This is cool. I like this. We've won 3 and 4. The CTF, they did kind of make look easy. The hard point wasn't that easy. 250 to 232. A combined difference here, 10 on map 1. And we see these guys push it all the way on the second hard point of Valkyrie there. 18 points, a combined just 8 points between the two. It's close.
It's unbelievably close.
Ben, I'm excited. Yes. It's USS Texas.
Yes,
it's Red Reserve. These guys are freaking awesome on this map.
Honestly, I said it all last night.
It's over.
Pro League Challenge. Don't speak too soon.
I'm speaking right now.
Don't do it.
Vitality, you're in relegation.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Okay.
Zero, of course, a phenomenal sniper on this map. He can lock down lanes by himself. The question for me, is anyone from Vitality going to try and shut him down? It seems like the answer is yes. It's going to be Whalers. Note, though, Whalers going for a very defensive snipe on the defensive side. Doesn't actually want to put himself in any danger yet. This is the whole map for me. Yeah. Is can Whalers shut down Zero?
This is like a test you go into school with your Vitality, and you're like, you know, have I done my homework? You know, if you've done your homework, you're feeling good, but if you haven't, you're like, oh, I failed this, I'm down, I'm out. However, they start off strong. All jokes aside here, risking first blood. And that is going to be onto Josh. We saw what Josh could do here. Raided's going to answer back, and he's actually the one with the bomb in hand. There is a player very close to him, but look at Joe. Sneaky, sneaky.
However,
work out.
There's the snipe pick. That's what you wanted to see. Whalers shuts down Zero. First blood goes to Vitality.
Vitality are just here to prove me wrong. I would have put so much on the line that Red Reserve closed this map out. I might be right. We'll see. Round 1 over.
How much would you put on the line?
I don't have that much money, man. I would have put a solid $4.50 on this one.
A solid $4.50.
That's like both of my bank accounts combined right now. Well, it's difficult. But I tell you what, I would have put it on. All of it. I may have rounded up to 5.
I honestly, I would have been right there with you. I'm not going to lie, but there's something about the way this series has gone. The fact Vitality, they don't want to go down into that relegation. They know they have to win. It puts an extra bit of motivation in there. But I say that, it was, of course, a 2-0 lead to Vitality before Red Reserve clawed their way back to this Game 5. If Vitality can win an attacking round and just give themselves a little bit of space here, it would be massive. Moles takes some shots, wisely backs away.
The one thing and the reasoning behind my confidence, obviously, in Red Reserve is not only how they play this, the success on it. I love how they go about it. The strategy, obviously, including the smokes. It doesn't look like Vitality have that same strategy, which is perfectly fine. You can play things differently, and it can most definitely work. But I can't see Vitality get into this bomb site.
How aggressive is Whalers being? That's the key with the sniper rifle.
Oh, he's chilling.
He's pushed up, but he's not too far pushed up. Of course, he has all of bottom A, but time's ticking, Phil. 37 seconds left. It
really is. Riskin's got the bomb, so if he can get this down, get away, he's going to work towards this. But, okay.
That helps.
Now this is going to help. Josh is going to dive across.
Oh!
Okay!
Whalers!
I mean...
He could get 3.
He could.
Oh, Whalers! You're a bad man, Whalers. You're a real bad man. He could get the ace. Oh, Whalers. Let's see, he gets the ace. I love it from him. A wonderful, wonderful round comes out. Fantastic stuff. Picks up all 4. 2 snipes, of course. He managed to get a nade kill and the final kill as well. Vitality with a bit of breathing room now in Texas.
Oh, this series, there's something about it. This just doesn't feel right. I feel uncomfortable.
I feel great.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Credit to Whalers there. That was some sexy Call of Duty. And he's going to continue to do so. He's still got the sniper. He's 5-0. He's working towards those streaks as well.
Here's the key. We mentioned, why is Red Reserve so good at this map? Normally, you see Zero doing just that. Zero's the guy that makes the sniper plays, right? He's the guy that you think, oh, phase up or Optic Whaler or Optic Zeros in that situation. It isn't happening here. It just simply isn't. And you have someone who's just out sniping Zero, and it isn't going well.
Okay.
There comes a first blood as well. Joe falls, bomb not going down, and Whalers, he's feeling confident here. He's close to streaks as well, bear that in mind.
It looks like Vitality didn't do their research on the test. I think they had the test. They got a printout beforehand.
They're cheating the test.
They knew exactly what they did. I didn't want to use that word because they're definitely not, but I'll take a breath there because that was inevitable. Whalers is absolutely killing it right now. 6-0. He's 1 kill away from securing those streaks. And 38 seconds here on the clock here. And I do want to point one thing out. Red Reserve were always the team to draw first blood. It felt like almost players were just getting too aggressive into them.
Yep.
Zero would snipe them. Vitality, they've not been on the back foot. They've just been a little bit more defensive. And it's working for them. 2v2, 20 seconds left, Ben.
Oh, no. It's a 1v2. It's all down to Whalers, but this man, he hasn't been missing. He's like Predator at this point. Finds one there as well. That's a glide bomb. Does he know he's being pushed? He tries to back away. Shots are going to be fired. It's Rated versus Whalers. Whalers just has to stay alive. 6 seconds left. Rated has not gone for the bomb. He's gone to push. Whalers, he's played it perfectly. Rated, he gets him though, just in the nick of time.
50-50. Rated choose the right way there. That, I tell you, Rated jumps down the other way. He's dead. That machine pistol up close, it's ended only one way. It will then give Whalers the full streaks. Yes, he's unlocked streaks himself, but they'll know that now. They will know he has streaks without a doubt.
Well, you hope they do.
I mean, if they don't, I'm gonna be pretty brutal. They're stupid.
A quick glance at the scoreboard, like give you all the information you need.
Exactly. 2-1 though. The rounds, of course, favoring Vitality here, and straight away, Rated's put on the mountain class. He's gonna pull out that PPSH. You don't really see him using this a lot. Whalers is happy just to continue.
All right. Calm down, sweetheart. I'm not sure about this. Trying to hit this kind of a shot.
I'd already put them in relegation, and now now he's going to open things up. And
what do you see? Well, you see Joe go bottom middle.
And you see that bomb jump onto A. It's not what I'm seeing from Red Reserve, it's what I'm seeing from Vitality. He's used the glide bomb as an opening here. Josh has just jumped on it.
He's Josh for it. Whalers. Oh, there's one. Whalers. Oh my goodness gracious me! What are we witnessing from Whalers? The man isn't missing with a sniper rifle. He's 9-1. His teammate gets the other pick there on the bomb. You can't win Texas when you're being out-sniped this badly. It just can't. It just isn't going to happen.
This is why they're so important. And Whalers has always been a great sniper. However, Zero, he's had that record. He's had that title way, way before Whalers. And Whalers is feeling himself right now. And again, it's those shots onto that A bomb site, which, you know, you're going to see someone jumping across and you're going to shoot, you're going to miss, it doesn't work. But right now, everything is falling for Whalers. He's having a great time. He's found 2 first bloods, 9 kills to his name. He's got more kills than the whole of Red Reserve combined. He's in a great spot, and he's got to be feeling himself. Look how aggressive. He's getting aggressive now. Okay.
Don't blame him. Really don't. Goes down towards lower A. He's going to have a little bit of information. Just imagine he just looks
Don't.
up. Just a boop.
He just swings that straight through him. Bomb down. Okay, Red Reserve, they get the advantage. Zero.
This is a key fight now. Zero has to snipe Whalers. He needs to stay alive, and Zero should be able to see him. Whalers is going to spot Zero. There, the key kill comes through. That's exactly what you wanted to see. Now, Zero knows bomb site. There's only one player there. Is he going to hit the shot? He does. That a bit of an indication there of Zero's ability, but the key kill, Zero versus Whalers, bottom A. He needed to find the kill, and he did just that.
Yeah, and that was his first 2 kills of the game. He was 0-4 before that. He's going to get himself a couple of kills. He's going to find his team the round as well. What I wouldn't be surprised to see now is if Red Reserve start hitting the smokes, that they throw a smoke at A, they go to B, or they start smoking B itself. They are going to be on the defense, so we're not going to watch that this round, but we'll see. Round number 6, Zayrox 0-3, Whalers 9-2. This is a great series.
It's phenomenal, especially, again, considering the circumstances. Vitality a loss in this game 5. They fall to relegation. Red Reserve a win. They secure playoffs. So much on the line. No, Whalers still with a fighter pilot at his disposal. He's going to spot one lower rate. That should be an easy pick by his standards.
I don't think Joe meant to fall there. You could see him like jumping back up.
He's like, no.
Get me back up. doesn't work out. And Whalers, like you said, Ben, he is not missing.
He just simply isn't. Double digits already with 5 rounds in. Rated, just don't do it. Don't jiggle peek. There's just no need. He gets spotted. Xerox finds the kill anyway. It's now a 4v2. It's left to Josh and Zero to go big for the team. Josh drops. Now it's all on Zero. He's sniping at the back. Of course, he's going to have intel that Bomb is going down at A. But in a 1v4, the man needs a miracle.
Yeah, he can try and play for picks here, and he's got Whalers. Go on, do it.
Oh.
See, that's the thing. Like, that's what usually happens. You miss. It's not that easy. And I think the play was behind the bomb anyway. But for Whalers, it just all seems to be connected. And you know what? Maybe Vitality, they deserve a little bit of luck.
Time to get a little bit of lady luck on their side, to your point there, Phil. And, well, this is a hell of a time to get a little bit of luck, right? To keep you in contention to make it to stage 2. Of course, they can't make playoffs. That's not Vitality's goal this week. It is simply to avoid relegation and secure their spot here in stage 2. They didn't really have a fantastic start. There's no beating around the bush with that, but they could have a phenomenal finish, and it really all does begin here in this game 5 against Red Reserve.
And to highlight again, Red Reserve, they lose this map now, and they're not in a great position because, yes, you know, are they going to make playoffs? Probably. Are they going to come in 3rd or 4th seed? Potentially. You know, they finished 4th seed, and speaking to Josh, you know, recently, he's like, we don't want to play LG round 1. Like, that sucks, and I'm completely with him. You know, they could face off against Spliced or an Envy or a FaZe, and for him, that's what he wants. Joe does go down, and it's 3v3. This is where you look at it, maybe a round where they've got to win, but rated falls.
Bear in mind, they still have a fighter pilot as well in their disposal. A 4v2. Red Reserve need to obviously pick up the bomb and try and get the plant. It's basically now 0-1 versus 2. We've seen him clutch these before. The problem is, however, 35 seconds on the clock. Bomb is down. He needs to pick it up and, of course, get the plant. He doesn't really have too much information on where Vitality are now. Time's ticking. Peak spot in the middle. 1v1. Will he have enough ammo to clean up the second? No, he won't. And Vitality put themselves now at match point.
Yeah, I think he was trying to grab the PPSH or grab the weapon which was dropped. Doesn't happen. Whaler says, nope, no PPSH for you. And again, that was just trade after trade after trade for Vitality. Credit where credit is due. I hold my hands up. Well, I will in a second.
It's not over yet.
If it goes. I mean, I will say, I thought this was going to be like a 6-2.
You might not be wrong.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I said. Like, I was like, yeah, Viva victory. Yeah, that's what I said.
Very possible that it could be a 6-2 final score, Phil. Of course, again, Whaler's still with a fighter pilot at his disposal.
Joe, 1 and 6. Now's your time to pick it up.
Especially after the map 1 and 2 he had. Even map 3 played fantastic. A hell of a shame. Maybe he crashed out of this series with a 1 and 6 stat line or a 1 and 7 stat line. But as it stands, bomb does go down. Pressure now on Red Reserve. 40 seconds to find the picks and get the defuse.
Yeah, problem is, fighter pilot still in the hands of Whalers. He might have a sniper, but that bomb is in the open, to say the least. Here we have it. Mountain, I think, you know, all the players do have, but that's what, another 5, maybe 10 seconds where you're not going to find anything. You take off the pressure. Zero's found Xerox. That is huge. Whalers now not in a great spot because all he has is a pistol, but he's coming right up behind him. Number 4 is crucial. He's rated. Finds the first. 15 seconds. Will get traded. Will be around for Red Reserve. And rated himself will be the one to defuse. The dream is still alive.
A big sigh of relief there from Red Reserve because realistically, that could have been the final nail in the coffin. Whalers used that fighter pilot. Honestly, I'm going to say it felt a little too soon. I would have liked to see him maybe just wait a little longer. Yes, it's risky. Someone could be on the bomb. But I feel like you need a teammate to check it because that is your ultimate lifeline.
And I was going to say, Red Reserve, technically, they have that option now to take Mountain off. Whether they want to, it's a different question. You know, Mountain's not just for hiding your streaks. Obviously, those quiet footsteps as well, crucial.
Definitely helps. Definitely does, especially on a map like this.
Do we see this whole smoke A go to B? There's so many strategies, and that's what I love from Red Reserve.
I think you called it perfectly, Phil. The smoke goes out at A. Vitality, are they going to over-rotate here? That's what you have to pay close attention to. Xerox is going to peek, and Josh needs to be so careful. He's going to spot Xerox and instantly says, oh, hold on a minute, let me scramble away. And that could actually work out because they might not know Rated is there.
Rated is in a bit of trouble. He's not in a great position. He does have the bomb. This is the man that you need to make Make a place, just. And you saw him.
Jiggle peek on Jiggle peek, and oh, Whalers connects with a pick on Zero. He pushed up, he goes for the quick scope. Joe will trade the kill. Now you have yourself Moles and Riskin in a 2v3. And sadly, this is just collapse for Vitality.
Uh-oh. This is not good news.
It's
Red
just
Reserve.
collapsed before your eyes.
And again, the snipe from Whalers, I believe it was, to open things up was great. He drops down that quick scope. He wins that. I think they win the round. He loses that, and it really just opens up more 1v1s. No trade available. Red Reserve. They, again, are not out of this one. Rated.
One round at a time.
That's all it takes. And again, streaks are out of the question.
It'd be fitting if this goes to a round 11.
Oh, please. Game 5, round 11.
For relegation and for playoffs. And that is, of course, what is on the line.
And if it does go to relegation, Rated is pretty close to these streaks. So if you can connect with maybe a grenade or pick up a kill, that'd be really interesting to see. Whalers is sticking to a sniper, right? Okay, that's ambitious, Josh.
All right, yeah.
But he's got full control of B. They know exactly their game plan. Yes, it's been working.
He just needs to be careful of bottom middle.
Yeah.
That's the only opening.
And I think he's fully aware of it. Because Josh was, peeking here last time. I will say Vitality credit, they're 5-4 up. They're using the same strategy every time. It's only a matter of time till Red Reserve start to notice this. And again, no smoke down at A. This whole jump back and forth, you get team shot on that. You ain't getting back.
Here's the problem.
Time's the problem.
Time. 37 seconds. Whalers is going to throw the first nade. That's going to be the indication that potentially they're going to try and start moving the bomb. The Red Reserve still have utility to put on the A bomb. Crosses. Riskin at this point doesn't really have much of a choice. He has to stick the bomb, and the kill comes through. It was the nades. Josh held onto it for so long. Now Vitality scrambling to get the bomb down with just 18 seconds left. Whalers has been nullified with the sniper. This is where things could get dangerous for Red Reserve. They could body stack the smoke grenades, go in, and instantly Joe pops on the bomb. Zero's going to spot Whalers. It crumbles before your eyes for Vitality. This one is going the distance. We have a round 11 on the cards, and more importantly, Rated will have streaks.
That was perfect from Red Reserve. They didn't waste the grenades. They just kept shooting the player, jumping back and forth. When they committed, grenade. When the bomb went down, smoke. Retake, useless sniper. I'll have that round, another kill. Does Rated have streaks?
He does, 100%. 100%.
I'm sure he was on 7.
He's
Let's
100%
double check if possible. Just to be, yep, there we go. Oh, never in doubt.
Never in doubt, Phil.
However, Whalers, step it up, snipe him, take him out the equation. Don't let him have these streaks. That's not happening. Whalers is at the back of the map.
I mean, he has to play a little passive now. I love what I saw from Red Reserve. Fitting that this goes to a round 11, of course. Vitality, they know he has streaks. They saw the defuse come through. Mountain across the board. First streak used, nothing gained. Second streak, not going to waste any time about it. First blood comes in from Josh as well. Will the fighter pilot find anything? Hit marker straight off the bat. Of course, bomb has been planted as well. Bear that in mind, it's a 3v4.
Bomb is down. Number advantage to Red Reserve. Josh is on a 5-kill streak. I don't know if Josh has streaks. I don't think he does. No, he doesn't. Back to 0. This is the man that shut everything down, the sniper. Can he connect? Josh falls. The sniper misses. It's a 3v3, Ben.
And he knows that someone's on site as well. Whalers is going to challenge. He goes down. It's Xerox. It's a 1v3. Makes it a 1v2. Zero with the sniper. Connects with it. Beautiful way to finish. And a crazy, crazy ending in the series. That, of course, will send Vitality into relegation. And more importantly for Red Reserve, that snipe right there sends them to playoffs.
I told you, Ben. I told you.
Never worried, were you, Phil?
Do I look worried?
No, not at all.
Do I look like a guy who makes predictions and gets them right?
Do you look like Chance? What?
What? Whoa. Oh, moments of relief for Red Reserve. It's a game 5. It's a round 11. They won't be happy with that.
They'll be furious.
They'll be relieved.
They'll be happy they won a game 5 finally. That's a good way of looking around 11.
If they lost that and it's like, again, no discredit to Vitality, but you're losing to the lowest seed or lowest team in the division. You lose another game 5. Is it composure? Where'd it go wrong? Whalers, again, I've seen time and time again in dropping double digits. He was on double digits at round 5. They lose the series. They lose the map. They go into relegation on that. Like the way they played today, they were great against Optic. They were great against Red Reserve. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys get out of relegation.
Yeah, you would expect a wonderful performance on the day, but You know, they had a great game against Up to Gaming. Didn't win any maps, right? So, okay, it's all good and well playing well, but you're not winning the maps. They go 2-0 up against Red Reserve. 2-0 up. Heartbreak. You think about the hard point, how close it was. The CTF wasn't really that close, let's be honest. They had their moments, but it was very much controlled by Red Reserve.
Yeah.
The hard point could have gone either way. They just weren't able to close it out on the final couple of hills. They had streaks as well. But then that search and show, was it a 5-2 lead?
It was a...
I want to say
it was a 4-2 lead. I think it was 4-2. We'll get it confirmed. Either way, great comeback for Red Reserve.
Phenomenal.
Shows composure, shows you can close out a game. Vitality